What's up, hackers? Welcome back to SifrSec. Today we're looking at Module 3 of the OffSec Dojo series. We are going to install the Windows 7 virtual machine and configure it to be our first target. Even though Windows 7 is a legacy operating system, it is the absolute gold standard for understanding remote code execution and memory corruption vulnerabilities. To install Windows 7, first we need to get the ISO file. Open up Google and search for Windows 7 Ultimate ISO and grab the first one with Service Pack 1 from archive.org. Ensure that you are downloading the Microsoft Windows 7 Ultimate with Service Pack 1. Click on the ISO image option from the download options to start downloading the ISO file. Now this may take a while depending on your internet speed, so be patient. With the ISO file downloaded, let us create the virtual machine. Let us open up VMware Workstation Pro and create a new virtual machine. Browse to your Downloads folder and grab that Windows 7 ISO that we just downloaded. With that selected, click on Next. We won't need the Windows product key for our lab, so you can safely skip that. From the drop-down menu, select Windows 7 Ultimate and then name your virtual machine whatever you want. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to name this Windows 7 VM, but you can name it whatever you want. Click on Next and a prompt will pop up. Click on Yes to close it. Click Next to continue. On this page, you can choose how much disk space you'd like to give to Windows 7. I would recommend leaving it at default, which is at 60 GB. Click Next and then click on Customize Hardware. Click on Network Adapter and select Host Only. This will put Windows 7 in an isolated environment which cannot interact with the other networks. Leave everything else at default and then close this window. Finally, click Finish to create the VM. The virtual machine will automatically boot once it finishes creating the disk. During this process, you may see a few pop-ups. Click on OK to close them. Now our Windows setup will start installing Windows 7 Ultimate on the virtual disk inside of that VM. This will take some time, but you don't have to do anything, so just wait until it finishes installing. And one more thing, don't worry if the system restarts automatically during the installation process. This is expected to happen several times during the install, and it is completely normal, so you don't have to worry about anything. Once the installation process is finished, we will boot into a clean install of Windows 7 Ultimate. Now you may immediately notice that the resolution is very low, making it hard to read anything on the screen. To fix this, open Start menu and search for Display, and then hit Enter. On the left sidebar, click on Adjust Resolution. As you can see, the resolution is set at 800 by 600 pixels. You can change it to something like 1920 by 1080 or something like 1280 by 720 pixels. Once that is done, you can close the control panel and we can get down to business. Now let's go ahead and shut down the Windows 7 virtual machine. In the VMware library, click on Edit Virtual Machine Settings. Disable any unnecessary and irrelevant devices like the CD disk and the floppy disk. After that, I want you to click on the Options tab. Ensure that the Shared Folders option is set to Disabled. In the Guest Isolation option, uncheck both of the boxes. Leave everything else at default and then click OK to save these settings. Let's turn on this virtual machine once again. And while it's booting, I want you to switch over to your Kali virtual machine and turn that on as well. Wait until you boot into the Windows 7 virtual machine. Once that's done, click on the Start menu and search for Command Prompt or CMD for short and then hit Enter. Type in ipconfig and then hit Enter to view the IP address of the Windows 7 machine. As you can see over here, the IP address for our machine is 10.10.0.129. Now let's switch over to our Kali machine and log into our VM. I want you to launch your terminal and type in IP space A to view the IP address of our Kali machine. Now if you look over here, you can see that the IP address for our Kali machine is 10.10.0.128 and our Windows is at 10.10.0.129. In order to check our connectivity, we are going to ping the Windows machine from within our Kali machine. To do this, type ping followed by the IP address of our target machine, which is the Windows machine's IP address. As you can see on the screen, the Windows machine is not responding to our ICMP echo requests. Press Ctrl C to stop pinging the machine. As you can see over here, the target machine has not responded to even a single packet. Let's try this the other way around. Switch over to Windows and ping Kali Linux at the IP address of 10.10.0.128. We can see that the Kali VM is responding to our pings. That means the problem is in Windows 7 itself. This is happening because the firewall on Windows is blocking our ICMP echo requests. Let's turn it off and then try this again. Open the Start menu and then launch Control Panel. Click on the first option that says System and Security. Click on Windows Firewall. As you can see over here, the Windows Firewall is currently switched on. To turn it off, on the left side menu, click on Turn Windows Firewall on or off. Then click on Turn off Windows Firewall for both private network and public network. And then click OK to save these settings. Close the control panel and let's switch over to our Kali terminal and try pinging our Windows machine once again. Ping 10.10.0.129. And as you can notice, the Windows 7 machine is now successfully responding to our ICMP echo requests. Perfect. Now that we can ping from both machines, the connection has been successfully established. Let's run a quick Nmap scan to ensure everything works perfectly. In the Kali terminal, type Nmap and then the IP address of the target machine, and then hit enter. As you can see over here, the scan was successful and Nmap discovered several open ports. That means our setup was successful. With all that finished, we are going to close all of our virtual machines and then take a snapshot of the Windows 7 virtual machine. In the VMware menu, click on VM and then go to Snapshot and click on Take Snapshot. We will be naming our first snapshot Clean Install. And then let's give it a short description so that we can immediately recognize this in the future when we are trying to revert back to a clean, stable state of the virtual machine. Click on Take Snapshot, and now our snapshot has been captured successfully. You can always revert to a safe working state by clicking on VM Snapshot and then revert to Snapshot 1. You can also use the Snapshot Manager utility if you take multiple snapshots. This establishes a permanent save point that we can instantly return to whenever we break the target during future modules. Snapshots are going to save you a lot of time in the future, so do not skip this step. With all that said and done, we are officially done setting up our first target VM. I'll see you in the next video where we will set up another target VM. Until then, stay secure. This is SifrSec signing off.